Anyone who has slept with an Avenger knows that. They appear gentle and considerate, but they hide a deadly blade in their hearts. And I just happened to fall in love with such a man, pretending to sleep in his arms every day, just to watch him secretly wipe the dagger that was about to stab me. Until that day, I lay on the sofa and peeled the candy wrapper slowly. Orphan's eyes fell on me with tenderness. I know what he is thinking. If I am not a child of the Jiang family, if my biological parents have not hurt his family, he would probably be very good to me and make me the happiest person in the world. But unfortunately, the reality is not like that. He is now full of revenge, and I clearly feel the distressed look he casts at me. The hand holding the candy stopped instantly, and I smiled calmly. Orphan, Orphan, do you know that from the moment you start to feel sorry for me, you have already lost? I'm looking forward to you giving me to someone else and watching me brushing against someone else's skin in their arms, hugging someone else's body and burying your head in someone else's texture. Will you still be as calm as you are now? When I came in, I immediately put away my expression and walked over slowly and awkwardly, hugging him and leaning my head on his chest. My fingers rubbed his waist with a hint of heat. His hands, which made his whole body numb, didn't know what to do. I saw that he had a different reaction, so I raised my head and kissed him lightly on the face, full of tenderness. But after the kiss, I immediately felt something was wrong and became a little restrained. I slowly withdrew from his arms and turned my head away embarrassedly. Brother Shun, why are you so cute? You wanted to start this yourself. Why are you the first to be shy? Orphan's voice was smiling and just the right amount of teasing, making it hard to figure out his emotions. I pursed my lips, not knowing how to answer, and turned around and wanted to leave. But he noticed it, stretched out his hand to grab me, leaned his head on my shoulder, and gently rubbed my face with his warm fingertips. The voice was muffled. Brother Shun, don't be afraid. I like you too, and I don't dislike you. I turned my back to him, and his extremely aggressive breath rushed towards me, making my back stiff instantly, and mist appeared in my eyes. I didn't resist and let him hold me. Just when we were hugging each other, the door was kicked open and a group of vicious people rushed in. They surrounded us. Orphan's first reaction was to block me and prevent them from noticing me. He said in a panic, "Didn't I tell you? I will definitely pay back the money my parents owe you. What are you going to do?" His hand was shaking, but such a reaction seemed too fake to me. I was tired of playing these tricks. But if he likes it, then it's okay for me to play with him. I immediately cooperated with him, and my acting skills were better than his. I gently pulled his clothes, my face turned pale, my pupils dilated, and I was full of fear. His eyelashes, which were originally raised, drooped down because of fear, and his whole body was full of drama. He looked back at me, pressed my hand, shook his head at me, and gave me a firm expression, like a ray of light, giving me hope. At this time, his back was upright like a warrior, full of security. I couldn't help but smile and breathe a sigh of relief. With him around, I really didn't have to be afraid. My tongue pressed against my teeth, and I really wanted to laugh out loud. Is this playing redemption? Orphan, do you know that my world is made of darkness and blood? I don't need redemption or light at all. Compared to being saved, I hope you can come down to accompany me. We didn't come here to talk nonsense with you. Since you don't have money, don't blame us for being rude. Brothers, smash everything here for me. The other party swung the stick and smashed everything without mercy. Orphan naturally stepped forward to stop them, and I stood there alone, looking a little helpless. When they were about to smash the stick at the piano, I hurried forward to protect it. After all, I was the protagonist of this play. If I didn't participate, it would be a shame to the stage set up by Orphan. It still didn't stop, and the stick was about to hit my back. I closed my eyes as if I accepted the reality, waiting for the coming of that stick. Suddenly, I felt a weight on my back. I reached out and pulled Orphan over and pressed him under me. Hissing, I took a breath and clenched my teeth to prevent myself from screaming. I smiled weakly at him. The group of people threw down their sticks and walked away without looking back. I sneered in my heart that they were too unprofessional. Shouldn't they not stop until they achieved their goals? Orphan didn't expect that the play he had carefully arranged would turn out like this. He should have blocked for me, but the result was the opposite. Brother Shen, are you okay? Does it hurt? Let me take a look for you. He quickly straightened up and helped me up. To be honest, he was a little nervous, but I didn't know why. He reached out to pull my clothes, and I pressed one hand on the clothes and held his hand with the other. A little nervous, and said in a begging tone, "Ugly, don't look, I don't want you to see." I deliberately acted very inferior. Of course, he knew what was going on. When he got my information, he lamented that my body was even more miserable than a slave. At this moment, he felt bitter in his heart. Who could have thought that the body under the clothes was so tattered, without a piece of good meat? I don't know how I survived all these years. Brother Shun, I won't despise you. Let me see, okay? I'll apply some medicine to your back. You can't reach it yourself. His tone became very gentle, and there was heartache. I tried to straighten my body, shook my head, and walked into the bedroom with the help of the sofa, deliberately not closing the door. In fact, this kind of injury is nothing to me. If I can't even bear this, I would have died 10,000 times. But I still pretended for a while. I took off my clothes, my back was facing the door, I picked up the medicine next to me, slightly turned sideways to the mirror, and applied it casually with my backhand. Orphan looked at the scab scars that covered my entire thin back. There were all kinds of them, and some of them were peeling over and over again. This is the nightmare. I looked at myself in the mirror, and finally I couldn't help but lie on the bed and cry. I curled up habitually, as if I hated this body, and my hands were still scratching my back. He wanted to step forward to stop him, but reason finally won over everything. He quietly retreated and quietly closed the door. He left me decent, and after hearing the door close, I pulled the quilt over, but in fact I didn't shed a single tear. I was waiting for the climax, and I couldn't wait for him to start earlier. Orphan stood outside and took a deep breath. He felt that he couldn't keep me anymore and should send me away immediately. Otherwise, he was afraid that he would be reluctant to leave. So he snapped his fingers, and stars immediately appeared in front of him. Master, do you have any instructions? He didn't reply immediately, looking up at the sky, his eyes full of sadness. It was obviously a simple sentence, but this time he needed to struggle mentally. Prince, have you contacted him? Even his tone was weak. Master, we have already contacted them. The other party is very satisfied with your appearance, Asher. As long as you send him over, he can help us get rid of the Jiang family immediately. Star's tone was calm. He had never been with me, so he naturally would not have any extra emotions towards me. Then tell him that I will send him over tonight. I hope he can abide by the rules. When he finished this sentence, his heart seemed to have suffered a severe blow, and the blood supply was not smooth. Yes, master, I will go now. Stars took the order and left, leaving Orphan alone outside to think about life. He should not have any feelings, especially for the people of the Jiang family. He lives for revenge, and there is nothing he can't bear. He brainwashed himself again, and then walked into the house, washed his hands and vegetables, and prepared a table of food for me as a farewell. But when cooking, it was far from smooth as before. Not only was he splashed with oil several times, but he could also cut his hands when cutting cucumbers. He became more and more irritable. Brother Shun, come out to eat. Today I prepared all your favorite dishes. You must eat more later. He pulled me to the dining table, his steps a little disordered. He hurriedly pulled out a chair for me, pushed me to sit down, and picked up dishes for me all at once, which was abnormal. Jiangji, what's wrong with you today? You are so absent-minded. Are you still worried about the debt? It's okay. You still have me. I will find a job tomorrow. Unfortunately, I don't have tomorrow. Hearing what I said, his hands holding the chopsticks turned white. He sat upright on the chair without saying a word. It's okay, Brother Shun. I encountered too many things today. I can't calm down. It's not because of the debt. You don't have to worry or go out to find a job. I said I would treat you well and won't let you suffer. The more he said, the lower his head was. He didn't have the courage to face me directly. Jiangji, you will treat me well for the rest of your life, right? My eyes were full of desire and a little expectation. This is not my pretense. This is my habit. I like this sentence, and I like to hear the answer that people like the most. He was uncomfortable with my eyes, his face full of regret. He didn't know what to say. No matter what the answer was, it would become a lie once it came to his mouth. Brother Shun, eat more. He could only say this, silently picking up food for me, quietly watching me eat. I lowered my head, looked at the food in the bowl, and felt a little sad. No one has ever promised me anything since I was a child. Is it because my requirements are too high? A lifetime is too long. Half a lifetime is actually okay. If not, 10 years, 5 years, or even 1 year, that's okay. Just be good to me for a year. Love me for a year. Is it so difficult? Sure enough, you deserve to die. Okay, I will definitely eat more today. In front of him, I picked up the food and put it into my mouth half a beat slower. Orphan, I gave you a chance to stop me. If you stop me, I will pretend that nothing happened, pretend to be the way you like, and I will help you do whatever you ask me to do. But if you didn't catch it, I'm sorry. I looked out the window. The night was dark. I didn't know when it started to rain. The glass was covered with mist, and my waist began to hurt. After a while, my consciousness began to blur, and I lay softly on the table. Master, the car's ready. Let's go. Orphan looked at me, sighed, picked me up gently, leaned over, and kissed me. At this time, I was powerless to resist, just like I was waiting in someone else's bed, waiting for trial and being slaughtered. Stars looked at the master's actions, and his face showed a rare surprise, but he quickly retracted it. After raising it for so long, there should be feelings. Let's go. Don't keep the other party waiting for a long time. He held me and walked out first. The atmosphere in the car was unusually heavy, with only my groans. It rained today, and my waist was really painful. Orphan also knew that sleeping pills had no effect on pain relief. He knew I was in pain, but he didn't do anything. He was afraid that he would be soft-hearted when he got there. Just bear it, and it will pass. Stars didn't know who he was talking to, himself or me. I'm afraid Orphan himself didn't know. The car stopped at the Lin family soon, and a man was waiting at the door. Prince, I've heard of your name for a long time. Orphan hugged me and couldn't free his hands to shake hands with the other party, but the other party didn't care. He rolled his eyes and stared at my face, showing a greedy smile, which was particularly obscene. She is really the most beautiful woman in the world. Those in my room, whether male or female, no one can compare to this little beauty in Master Xie's arms. Not even a penny. Master Jiang is really willing to give her up. Prince looked at Orphan with a little inquiry. He liked to play with these beauties the most. Seeing them beg for mercy would satisfy him and make him happy physically and mentally. The whole circle knows that Prince has this kind of character. When he asks for something, he will offer a beauty, and all problems are no longer problems. It's just a beauty. Why should I give it up? It's good that Prince doesn't despise it. It's his honor to be favored. He smiled on the surface, but he was almost crazy in his heart. Okay, haha, I like people like you who are conscious. Come on, leave him to me. I have sent people to deal with the Jiang family's affairs. I have also sent people to push the videos you gave me to the hot search. Prince couldn't wait to give orders, and his fingers secretly rubbed my face. Just one touch made him extremely restless. It was too beautiful, and even the skin was so elastic. Orphan closed his eyes, not wanting to watch this scene, and let the other party carry me away. Oh, by the way, to thank you for giving me such a beauty, I decided to invite you to watch my live broadcast. You were the first person I invited. I believe you won't mind, right? When he said this, a hawk-like light flashed across his eyes, revealing an imperceptible cruelty. Orphan had no ability to refuse, nor did he have the courage to watch me being humiliated. Of course, I would not refuse such an honor. His fingers embedded in the flesh, and the broken blood-colored jade beads dripped along his fingers to the ground, mixed in the rain. At this time, the blood was warm, but the heart was cold, and the hands were cold. No amount of blood could warm them. Prince put me on the bed and lay beside me, his body constantly pressed against me, his hands around my waist, slightly bent over, holding my hands, and his whole body enveloped me. The data in the laboratory soared all the way, and I knew how bad my mood was at this time, but he didn't notice it at all and unbuttoned my buttons one by one. Seeing that I didn't react, he began to act recklessly. Before he untied me, he couldn't help it. He moved his lips and teeth to my neck, licking and biting it, and slowly moved down. My neck became his property. Orphan's anger had reached its limit. He turned around and was about to leave, but Stars grabbed his arm. What place is this? The Lin family, a fortress that eats people. If you want to get out alive, you must be obedient, otherwise you'll be doomed. I couldn't bear it anymore. I opened my eyes, which were so cold that there was no temperature. I looked at his neck and thought about how to start later so that the blood wouldn't splash on me. But now Orphan was watching the surveillance, so I couldn't act immediately. I couldn't waste the drama I had played with him for so long. When I saw Prince, my whole body was trembling and my heart was beating violently, but at this time I was held down by my hands and had nowhere to retreat. I wanted to resist and wanted to save my waist and hand from his hands. Prince looked at me, who had woken up, and became more excited. It was quite exciting. He liked to conquer the most. Little beauty, don't move, or I can't guarantee what will happen to your waist and hands. After saying that, he tightened his hand around my waist. I bit his shoulder in pain, and my eyes turned red. But for the sake of the plan, I closed my eyes. I just had to bear a little longer. I would get rid of all the people here in a moment. Ah, boy, You really dare to bite me. You will definitely not get away today. He pulled out his hand around my waist and tore off my clothes. My eyes became dull in an instant, and I kept retching and resisting. My eyes were empty and my lips were tightly closed. I let the tears slide down my cheeks unscrupulously, and even a few drops of water hung on my eyelashes. Jiangji, Jiangji, Jiangji. I didn't stop resisting and kept muttering Orphan's name. Orphan's head was roaring through the surveillance, and he couldn't say a word. His right hand tightly covered his chest. My voice was like a knife, stabbing him in the heart fiercely, and his body began to shake. It was useless to try to restrain himself. Stars quickly supported him. He didn't expect that the young master also gave his heart to the other party. Young master, hold on a little longer, it will be fine soon. Hearing my name, Prince laughed out loud, pinching my chin with one hand. You are really pitiful. You don't know yet. You were given to me by Orphan himself. It was him who personally sent you to my bed. He is still watching you being humiliated with his own eyes. Do you think he will come to save you? As soon as I said this, I stopped resisting. My eyes couldn't focus, and my eyes were scattered. My whole body was drained. I couldn't even breathe, lying on the bed looking at the snow-white ceiling. Something like water flowed out of the corners of my eyes, expressionless, silent. Neither sad nor happy. My heart hurts as if it was torn apart. So this is how it feels to be abandoned. It seems that I have had it before. I don't remember when, probably a long, long time ago. It's just that it wasn't so strong at that time. Although I was acting, it felt real. The world is colorless. Everything is silent, like drowning in the deep sea. Looking at me like this, Prince didn't stop. He kept pressing me, trying to untie my belt just when I wanted to reach out and twist his neck. The door was kicked open. I didn't turn my head to see. I didn't need anyone to save me. Prince got off me calmly, and he also knew the person who came. His ninth brother, a useless waste. Ninth brother, how did you have time to come here and disturb your fifth brother's interest, so angry that you kicked the fifth brother's door? It was broken. Who provokes you? He walked towards Moon and ridiculed Moon. When approaching Moon, Moon pulled out a scalpel from his arms and stabbed the other's heart fiercely, one knife after another. Each knife was very precise, and no knife was redundant. Such a change of events caught everyone present, including Prince, by surprise, and Moon just calmly took off his gloves and threw them at the other person. He stepped on the knife and pushed it inward. Fifth brother, you should never, ever touch my people. He is my prey, and no one else can touch him. Moon took off his glasses and threw them away casually. His bloodshot eyes became extremely fierce. Everyone at the scene froze in place, not daring to say anything else. Unexpectedly, the gentle and cowardly ninth young master in the past was a ruthless character. Moon watched the person under his feet die, then turned to look at me and hurriedly took off his coat. The coat with the smell of disinfectant quickly surrounded my whole body, and my eyes did not move from beginning to end. I didn't react to the world, but I was very restless inside. Moon, save me, take me out. I thought to myself that I can't regret it anymore. I'm determined to rely on you, and you can only be mine. The skin is mine, and the soul can only be mine. Don't let me go easily. After all, it was you who provoked me first this time, and it was you who wanted to save me. In this case, I will forgive you a little for what you did to me before, and spare your life, and keep you for a little longer. Looking at my slightly red eyes, tears rolling in them, his heart softened, and he couldn't help but reach out and gently wipe away the tears from the corners of my eyes. He hugged me in his arms. Don't be afraid. It's me. No one will hurt you from now on, and I will make everyone who hurts you pay the price. His voice was not as lazy as before, but firm this time. In fact, he should have brought me with him a long time ago. My expression was still dull, but there was a little light in my slightly drooping eyes, and my heart skipped a beat. In fact, I don't understand love, but I long to be loved. My memories are only pain, imprisonment, electric shock, and punishment. I was trained to be a demon who doesn't need to have 7 emotions and 6 desires. Even I think so I do things in an extreme way and never consider the consequences. What everyone fears, covets, and wants is nothing but my ability. Apart from Brother Yin, Moon is the second person who treats me well. I can't help wanting more, but years of experience have taught me that if you hold too tightly, you will lose more. So, this is fine, Moon, this is fine. If you treat me well, I will treat you well too. Moon looked at me in silence, with a distracted look in his eyes. He knew that this was a severe mental injury. In order to protect myself, I chose to close myself. He suppressed the pain in his heart and took me out of the bedroom slowly. As soon as I went out, I was stopped by a large group of people, one row after another, and the scene was quite spectacular. Master Nine, the head of the family, invites you to come with us. The leading black-clothed man bowed to Moon and made a pleased gesture, but his attitude was still a little tougher. Moon lowered her eyelashes with a cold tone that kept people away from her. There was a cold light in the corners of her eyes, strange and scary. Her eyes were like daggers, dark as a deep pool, as if she regarded the people in front of her as ants. He walked without any hesitation, holding me close to the group of people, like a ghost from hell. Get out of the way. After I put him down, I will naturally go to see the head of the family. I don't need you to ask, or do you want to do something to me now? He deliberately dragged out the tail tone, which sounded a little ambiguous, but the breath around him was dangerous, and he was still confident and calm. The leader stepped aside. The head of the family had ordered that he could not argue with the ninth young master. Go and call Tom over, show him to Asher, and protect him well. Don't let others get close to him, otherwise you know the consequences. Moon ordered the bodyguard standing at the door of the room. He gently put me on the bed, pulled the quilt over me, and made sure that only my head was exposed. Be good. Someone will come to treat your injuries later. Don't move. Let him see. I'm going to solve some minor problems, and we'll be back soon. Don't be afraid. He spoke softly, with deep affection in his eyes, and was reluctant to use a heavy tone. This is my preference. I was very moved, but I still did a good job on the surface and didn't reveal any flaws. Okay, don't delay any longer. You are in trouble. Go quickly. I will help you take care of him. Tom stood at the door, speechless. It was so hard for the iron tree to bloom once, but it caused such a big thing. If he had known earlier, he would tell Moon as a person who had experienced it. It's better not to bloom. Don't worry about this matter. I will handle it. Please help me take care of him. I don't think he is in a good condition now. Moon walked over and patted his good brother on the shoulder. Okay, I'm just being sentimental and nosy. Okay, go now. I promise to take good care of him. But if the head of the family knew about his existence, do you think he can survive? Tom looked at the bulge in the quilt, and even my head was tucked in, thinking that I was very timid. Since the head of the family can't tolerate him, then I will get rid of him and become the head of the family myself. I have the ability to protect my people. Moon didn't want to retreat or pretend anymore this time. Tom opened his mouth, but didn't say anything in the end. It's not easy to be a head of the family, let alone a family like the Lin family, where the water is so deep that you don't know how many meters. He sighed and said nothing. After disinfecting his hands, he frowned slightly and looked at me in the quilt, empty and lifeless. I always feel that something is wrong. Reach out and stretch out your hand obediently. I'll take your pulse. No matter how gentle his tone was, I still didn't respond to him, and I was motionless like a dead person. Tom had no choice but to reach out and pull him, but his movements were a little gentler. Such people are afraid of being stimulated. Looking at the bruises on his hands, Tom shook his head. No wonder Moon wanted to kill Prince. So it was because he touched you. So he really deserved to die. He took out the blood-activating and stasis-removing ointment and gently applied it on my hand. It was very comfortable to feel the coolness. After doing this, Tom began to fidget, and he didn't know what Moon would be punished for. Moon came in a short while later with a particularly obvious blood mark on his neck. He was still sweating a lot, and his steps were weak, but he just pretended to be fine. Tom hurried forward to support him and smelled a bloody smell when he got close. Sit down first. Let me see the wounds on your body. Did the head of the family kill you? It's okay. He just got beaten up. How is he? Moon's voice was very weak, and he seemed to have no strength at all, almost putting all his weight on Tom. Tom didn't answer him immediately, but helped him sit on the sofa, unbuttoned his shirt, revealing dense scars. Some of them had thorns inside, and the flesh and blood were all turned out. You still have the mood to care about him when he is injured like this. Take care of yourself first. It hurts you to death. He is fine. I have applied medicine to the bruises on his hands. It's just that mentally, I think there are some strange things, and I don't know what conclusion to draw for the time being. Tom and Moon turned their backs to me, and no one noticed that I was also looking at them at this time. But his expression was like fire, and his eyes were staring at Moon's back, as if he was going to burn a ball of fire. I already had my own little calculations in my mind. Strange place, what is strange, damn? You should be gentle, it hurts so much. Moon's voice was weak and a little coquettish, and Tom took back the strength of his hand. I thought that I must have done something wrong in my previous life to encounter such a situation. I can't describe the feeling either. Anyway, You should spend more time with him first. I will give you an answer next time I come. And Tom doesn't know how to describe the doubts in his heart. He always feels that my state is very similar to autism and depression, or both. However, the expression is very strange, as if it is very deliberate, which seems a bit inconsistent. Tom has never seen such a situation, and he thinks it is necessary to study it for a while. All the conversations between the two fell into my ears. I didn't expect that I had performed my true colors, and there were still doubts. I couldn't help but look up at Tom. This person is not easy to bully. After tying the bandage, Tom went out. The room was very quiet, so quiet that there was only the sound of rain outside the window and the sound of paper passing through the air. The more Moon looked at me, the angrier he got. He checked all the people who bullied me, wanted to give everyone the ultimate judgment, but he didn't expect that he would feel so distressed when he saw me suffering. He pulled my head out of the quilt, held my face, and said apologetically, "Come on, open your mouth, take the medicine, and your waist won't hurt so much." He looked at the cold sweat on my head and the weather outside, and knew that I must be in pain. I opened my mouth numbly and mechanically, took the medicine in, but didn't swallow it. "So good, go to sleep, everything will be fine, it will pass." Hugging me, Moon fell asleep. In the middle of the night, a ball of hair kept entangled around Moon's neck, entangled and loosened, loosened and entangled again. It suffocated me and made me feel like I was dying, and then it seemed to be saved. Moon was really uncomfortable and was forced to open his eyes. He pulled the hair wrapped around his neck, and when he opened his eyes, he saw me lying on him. Moon's eyes were in disbelief, because this person was so stunning. Her facial features were all gorgeous and beautiful. When she raised her head slightly, her ruby-like eyes could instantly capture people's hearts. From her hair to her feet, every inch of her body was so beautiful that it was shocking. As long as she landed on the earth, she could overwhelm everyone. Desire surged in his heart, and Moon couldn't control himself a little. If there was no one around him, he would never have thought that the person in front of him was me. The difference was too big. "You." Moon was about to speak, but I stretched out my middle finger and pressed it on his lips. I raised my eyebrows slightly, as if I was a little dissatisfied with him. I reached out to unbutton his clothes, and the hot breath with a bit of aggression spread on his collarbone meaningfully, but I didn't take the next step. He licked his lips, and I couldn't see my expression in the dark, only those red eyes. Moon's whole body was weak, and there was something strange under him. He wished I could have him at this time. He didn't care about the wound on his back and reached out to hug me. I chuckled and held his hand, so strong that he couldn't break free. "Don't move." The warm lips whispered in his ear and rubbed his earlobe from time to time while speaking, which was very hot. Moon felt that if the other party continued to tease like this, he would explode. After the shirt was unbuttoned, Moon thought I would go further, but I didn't expect that I would stop here and start to be dazed. My eyes looked at his neck, and the warm fingertips pressed on it. I leaned over and bit it, instantly destroying the atmosphere. "Asher, what are you crazy about? Let me go quickly." The long black hair was on his neck, with my unique smell of disinfectant. It made Moon very excited, but his neck was really painful. Goddamn, he didn't know how much strength I used. As if I wanted to bite off his flesh, I hesitated for a moment when I heard his roar, and still let go. Let the blood on his neck flow to the pillow. "It's so beautiful." I said this and reached out to touch the wound on his neck. I wiped the bloody finger to my lips and smiled as sweet as a flower. "Go to sleep. Close your eyes. Go to sleep quickly." I opened my lips word by word, and the words were very clear. I leaned my head to his ear like a lullaby, hitting the core. Moon couldn't hold it anymore and closed his eyes. "Don't worry. This is just a small punishment for you. After all, I am very vengeful. Next, I'm going to do something big." I climbed up from him and walked barefoot towards this indissoluble night. In the old European villa, my appearance was reflected in the red glass. The whole person exudes an attractive and terrifying breath, and the wind is also mixed with the smell of blood. It is this smell that I like. I stood at the door of a room very politely and knocked on the door gently, but I didn't get any response. I pursed my lips and felt a little aggrieved, but it was only for a second. I put my bloody fingers on the doorknob. The door opened with a hook, and I slowly approached the man lying on the bed like taking a walk. At this time, the wind outside was howling coldly and the rain was loud, and the person on the bed didn't notice my approach at all. "Hello, wake up quickly." The voice was a little bewitching and vague, as if it came for the temptation of the netherworld. Summoning the deepest desire in the heart of the human heart, The owner of the bed soon opened his eyes and saw the little beauty beside the bed. He reached out to hug me, without saying anything, pulled out a blade and held it in his hand and slashed at the person on the bed. It was just that I didn't scratch his face because it was too ugly and I was afraid of dirtying my eyes. The owner wanted to scream, but I shook my head at him. His eyebrows were wrinkled into a river character. Be good. It won't hurt. It will be fine in a while. But unexpectedly, as soon as this sentence came out, the person on the bed calmed down and let me slaughter him quietly. Of course, I wouldn't mind something that was delivered to the door. I cut more vigorously, but the fat on the man's waist was a bit disappointing. I was tired and rubbed the blade on his clothes. After ensuring that the blade was as white as new, I walked out humming a little tune and thoughtfully closed the door and wiped the fingerprints on the door handle. I admired the structure of this villa. When I came out, the rolling dark clouds with nightmares covered all the light. Even the lightning disappeared. Everything was shaking with the wind, but I didn't care. I was in a very good mood. I walked towards Prince's room on the red footprints, although the blood was a little dirty, not from the person I like. But it doesn't matter for Moon. I am willing to pay a little. After stopping at the door, I sat down and wiped all the blood off my feet to make sure it was clean. I also disinfected it and only slipped back to sleep after there was no odor. Nestled in Moon's arms, my eyes changed back. Everything was the same as at the beginning. There was no difference, and I fell asleep with peace of mind. But his face turned pale, his head hurt so much, and even his breathing became difficult. His body trembled slightly from the pain. Sure enough, it was too far-fetched and could not be used on two people at the same time. His tone was full of regret, giving people the feeling that it was not me who was uncomfortable, nor was it painful. After playing with Moon's fingers for a while, I closed my eyes and fell asleep. Before dawn the next day, the restless sound in the villa woke Moon up. He subconsciously glanced at me, and no matter how he looked at me, he could not connect me with the stunning man last night. If it weren't for the pain in his neck, he would have suspected that he was dreaming. But he would never believe that I had such great strength. If I did, I would not let those dirty people and my fifth brother insult me. What exactly is going on? The more I think about it, the more headache I have. Until a knock on the door interrupted his thoughts. He left the bed lightly. Tom, what are you doing so early in the morning? Tom rushed in and poured himself a glass of water. His expression was obviously frightened. No, Moon, something big happened. His tone was very excited. He just opened his mouth to share a piece of explosive news, but Moon covered his mouth. Woo, why are you covering me? Speak softly, don't wake Asher. It's not easy to sleep so deeply. Okay, your Asher is the most precious. No, I'm not the point. I tell you, the head of the family was injured last night, and now the suspect points to Prince who died under your knife. Don't you think this is a supernatural event? What? How is this possible? With the strength of the head of the family. How could such a thing happen? Are you kidding me? And do you really think that the secret guards and bodyguards hiding in the dark of the Lin family are just decorations? Moon doesn't believe anything he says. He knows the head of the family very well. This is the most terrifying thing. You don't know that the owner of the house was injured so badly that his body was so blurry that you couldn't see him, but no one heard his screams. It seemed that he was still willing. Tom said that he really had never seen such a situation. I woke up in the bed a long time ago, or I didn't fall asleep at all. I was in pain, my whole body was in pain, but this time I was willing.